Welcome to the game of Risk, everyone. I am your host, OliveXC, a top Grandmaster in this game. Today, we are starting a brand new series, Throwdown Thursday, where I partner with Poorly Played Risk and go over a 1v1 map and tell you how to play on that map. Poorly Played Risk, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Olive. Hi, everyone. This is Mallory. I have the YouTube channel Poorly Played Risk, and I recently hit Grandmaster. I'm in the top 2,500 after having one Tutor Tuesday with Olive.
Hooray! Good for you! Yeah, so the settings that we're going to be playing on here is going to be the United States map. We can see right here it's manual setup. Normally we play 60 seconds, but this is going to be 120 because it's going to be a tutorial. And it's going to be progressive, fog on, blizzards on. And when we look at the map here and the different continents, we can see New England is a +1, Mid-Atlantic is a +2, Appalachian Highlands is a +4, the Southeast is a +3, Southwest +4, Pacific Coast +2, Rocky Mountains +4, Heartland +5, Midwest +4. So as we go through the initial territories here, you notice that my screen is blank because when the fog is up, I don't have the ability to select like initial territories like at all. So everything just seems like a hidden to me. And this kind of increases the skill level of a 1v1 because you don't know what the opponent's going to do. The first territory, poorly played risk, do you know what that would be?
Yes, I already have it picked. I'm gonna pick. Is it called Maine? North New England.
Yes. Actually, no, that's a wrong pick.
That's the wrong pick. No.
I have to mess with you a little bit. So, an important principle of 1v1s is what I like to call a forcing move. What is the smallest continent on this board, Mallory?
Oh shoot. I should have picked New York because it's a 2 for 2.
Yes. So, yes, and why and what does that force me to do?
And you have to pick Southern Mid-Atlantic, which is Pennsylvania.
And what happens if I don't pick it?
I get a continent first turn because I am the first player.
Exactly. And I can't do that because you'll just get an overwhelming advantage and win the game. And if you notice, sometimes these blizzards can make other like continents for like two territory continents, such as the Pacific Coast, if there's a blizzard there. So I'm going to select the New York territory. So do you know why
Dang
I
it.
rather select New York rather than Southern Mid-Atlantic states?
Well, I know now. And this is a mistake I think I've made in this map before. I always pick Pennsylvania. So I know now what my mistake is, and it's because I am looking at the very trusty Disconnect map, and New York is a less connected state than southern mid Atlantic states.
Yep, so let's take a step back for the audience so they can understand this. On my screen, I'm showing the disconnection map right here. The way that the disconnection map works, I'm just pulling up my notes here, is that it shows you, each number shows you the number of territories that specific territory is connected to, as well as the connecting territories. And essentially, it shows the territory's disconnection. The lower the number, the more disconnected a territory is. The higher the number, the more connected that it is. The color represents how many territories that specific territory connects to. So orange would be 1, red, red would be 1, orange would be 2, yellow 3, green 4, and so on. An example would be Texas has a 10. It's connected to 4 territories. New Mexico, Arizona, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana. And those territories are connected to 1, 2, 3, 4 connections. And all of those territories, this 13 is connected to this 9 and this 12. That's 6. This 13 is connected to this 11 and this 17. Yep, so that's like a 8. This 14 is connected to like this 14, that's 9. And this 9 right here is connected to that's 8, that's 10. So that's how the numbers go in. You want to be selecting the lowest numbers, least connected territories possible at all times, as that's going to allow you to stay spread out among the map. The goal of player 1 is you want to have all of your territories connected and player 2 territories connected, so that way you are able to blitz their stack, take over a large number of territories, and get an overwhelming advantage. As player 2, you want to be spread out so you can hide your main stack and attack the opposing player after they make their move. So being able to be connected around the map is critical. And picking the most disconnected territories for both players is the best way to succeed in a 1v1. So now that we made this choice, if I look at the disconnection map, I want to select something in the top right because that's the lowest numbers. So I'd be selecting this 5 right here because it's the most disconnected territory, besides the 3, which poorly played Risk already selected. So now, what territory do you want to select, poorly played Risk?
Okay, I know what I want, but I feel like it's going to be wrong, but I'm going to pick it, and then you can tell me why it was a terrible choice, okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Here we go.
That's a great choice.
Oh, yay!
Yes, you selected Florida because it's a low number, it's disconnected, um, and since there's a blizzard on like a Louisiana, there's just it's a very disconnected area of the board. So that's a good pick for you right there.
Oh, I'm so relieved. I was really nervous about that.
Yeah. A common thing, and this one makes adds skill to a lot of 1v1s, is the use of blizzards. So a lot of times you want to select territories around the blizzards because they're going to be more disconnected than normal. An example would be Wisconsin. We can see that it's normally a 10 and connected to 3 territories. But now, since Michigan, the 8 is a blizzard, it's now connected to less territories. So the number is going to be lower and the color is going to be like a 2. So I'm going to select this one, taking full advantage of the blizzard right there. So now, poorly played Risk and I will just keep kind of on selecting like the territories right here, focusing on picking kind of like the lowest numbers like possible. Some things to keep in mind as kind of poorly played Risk takes her turn is, yeah, so she's selecting the second best territory in the area, is what are the best territories to select and within each continent. So within the southwest area, that would normally be Texas, but since that's a blizzard, we can't really select that. That's a very good a early pick because the other picks are really bad. Look how high these numbers are. So even though Texas is a high number, that can be a good selection. Within the Pacific Coast, the lowest number and a good choice picks could be California or Washington. I'll take California here because this is the lowest number. And for people new to 1v1s, we want to show you that selecting the lowest numbers is a good way to stay disconnected. Yep, so poorly played Risk, you are deep in thought right now. What's going through
Yeah,
your head?
I'm trying to decide between Oregon and Washington. Um,
Yeah, so one of them's a 7 and the other's a 9. I think both of them are fine. It's just going to be careful about you taking Idaho later.
yes, and that's where I want to be really careful. This western part of the map is tricky.
Yes. Yep, so I'm going to be selecting the best territory in the South Rocky Mountains, which is Utah. And we can see right here, and you bring up an interesting part about the western part of the United States, Mallory, and that is what happens if there's a blizzard on New Mexico, Arizona, or Montana. Do you know what?
It's a 1 point hold, and I've had games like that before.
Yes. So a lot of times, if that happens, you want to pick territories as close to that blizzard as possible, and try to spread out in that area so someone can't hold a two um a 2 point continent with a 1 point guard. The other type
I'm
of
going
thing
to
to
do
keep in
something controversial here, Olive. I'm going to do something really controversial.
no, that's fine. You took Oklahoma right away because you want me to take either New Mexico or Arizona for later.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not bad. You're taking the concept of a forcing pick in mind. So, but I'm just going to continue taking the best territories just as an example for people. So within the mid-Appalachian Highlands, the best territory to tick is normally Virginia. And that's because if I look at the disconnection map, you can see it's a very, very low number. It's tied with North Carolina. However, an important part of this map here is that North Carolina is connected to South New England, and ideally, each player wants to take one of those territories to keep up the disconnection. So as player 2, you don't want to take both of them because that can allow player 1 to have a strong hold on this area of the board if they choose to do something clever. Mallory took the second best pick of West Virginia here to counter me, so that was a good pick. When I look at the Heartland Continent, the best territory to pick normally is North Dakota. This is because if I pull up the map, it's a 9, it's the lowest number, and it's also the lowest color. Do you know the second best territory to select in the Heartlands, Mallory?
I think I do, but I'm afraid I'm wrong.
Yes, you're so good. This is why she's a Grandmaster, everybody.
Yes! Oh, I'm so happy.
You should be. You are killing it right now. Yeah. When now looking at the southeast area, Florida is an incredible territory. Besides Florida, I really like taking South Carolina because it's only connected to two things, North Carolina and Georgia. So Mallory and I will continue taking the best territories on the board, and she took Mississippi, an excellent choice, because she's taking advantage of the blizzards, and she's continuing to fortify her hold here. A common thing and a great thing to do, like if you're in the southeast, is take a lot of territories here, because since this is a very, very big continent, you're unlikely to hold it. So if you're going to connect yourself, this is a great way to to do it. The numbers are low,
Oh,
and it's best to make use of them.
that was a good tip.
Aw, thanks. I've only done this map 800 times. You took Ohio.
I have a funny story about this map later.
Yeah. So why did you take Ohio?
Well, I'm from Ohio, so it felt right, but also I am trying to connect myself because I want to force you to also have to bunch up. And so if I bunch up, I will force you to bunch up later.
That
That
is
was my
possible.
thinking.
However, there's better picks that you could potentially be making, like at this time. I feel like an example could be like if you've gone like Washington like up top, because look at that number, it's like normally like a 10,
Mm.
right? And you're also allowing me to get easy access to attacking to like the right side. If I make you take Illinois or Missouri later or both, that's going to give me access to both sides of the map.
Mm.
So
You gotta think like 20 steps ahead in 1v1s, and that's where I start to fall apart a little bit.
yeah, you have to think towards the long game. Another important factor to keep in mind is how big this map is. This map has a total of 42 territories, but with blizzards, there are 39 in total. That means one will have 20 territories at the end, and player 2 will have 19 territories at the end. And the reason why this creates balance is when player 1 makes their first move, they will get 6 territories. If they manage to take over the majority of the board, player 2 will get 3 territories for having 11 or less territories, and then they will get a bonus 3 troops for going second, so they will also get 6 troops. That is the theory about how things try to remain balanced here. So as we continue kind of like selecting our territories like here, after we take like the first half, things become a little bit more crowded and things can become
Mm-hmm.
a little bit more complicated at this time. But Mallory and I have generally selected the best first like initial territories. And you know, Mallory, like normally on your series you're like a chatty Cathy, just like talking it up, but here you're just so focused right
I
now.
I am so I already see that I have just made terrible mistakes. I'm already seeing that I've made
Yeah.
terrible mistakes.
Yeah. So Mallory did a great thing right here. She did a forcing move, where in Southwest, if I don't take Arizona, she will take it, and then she'll get a continent. So sometimes If there's like a 3 territory region, you can wait before selecting the second one, and if player 2 isn't paying attention, you can just take it. So it connects me a little bit. And if I take Idaho, it's going to just make things like tougher. So I'm just going to continue like looking at my map, selecting some of the lowest numbers, giving myself options about what I wanted to do. I've selected one in every single continent, and I'm no longer worried about poorly played Risk taking a continent in the beginning. Now we're getting towards, I think, one of the most challenging and important parts of a 1v1, which is like the end game about what we do. We select our remaining territories. This is what decides, because once everything's taken, there's only bad territories left to take. If you make a mistake, it can literally cost you the game. So you have to be very, very careful with this stuff. So if I'm looking at this here, I'm going to be continuing to select like the lowest numbers. And one thing you really want to avoid is like the Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Missouri area in the center, right along the Mississippi River. I took geography in class, kids. And the reason why these territories you really want to avoid is this allows you to connect back and forth like between the map. If player 2 is able to hide their army and get access between this area right here, that's just going to allow them to move across very, very easily. So you have to be very, very cautious when selecting any territories there. So
My heart is racing right now, Olive.
no, you're doing a pretty good job with the selection of like the territories. I'm happy with what I'm seeing right here. So I'm just continuing to select, keeping things as disconnected as I can. And again, I'm just thinking a little bit about how I want to kind of play this out, because as player 2 at this time, I want to envision where do I want to potentially hide my army. So I see, yeah, some potential options for me and opportunities about what I could do. All right. So I think what I can do, yeah, I don't think I want to take there. I'll take this one to cancel you out for what you did in the center. Now I only have to select 2 more territories at this time, and I have a good chance of getting something very, very disconnected. So now you have to think about what you want to play. And as we start to pick our final choices, we have to think what is the best way that player 1 should put it. Generally, it's best to leave everything in one big stack, because if you find player's 2 army, you can blitz it right away. If I were to go to the risk calculator and show what the blitz would be, it would probably be like a 27 v 21. So this, it basically, it would be very, very, whoops, I think it's 27 v 22. It would be very, very close to 100% roll, because this shows true random odds. It would be about 96, 97%. Ah, okay. So now I see, yep, you're putting these territories in the middle at the end. You're very, very close to connecting me everywhere around the board, but you're not 100% towards connecting me, and you're giving me a couple places to hide my army. So you can see right here as we played this out on this map, I did force myself to connect myself in a couple of areas, but it's going to be very challenging for poorly played Risk to guess where I've hidden my army. Because when you took Ohio in the very beginning, I'm now going to take North Carolina, and that's going to force you to take Missouri, which should generally always be like the last pick. So now I could potentially hide my stuff in New York, have access to the entire map. I can leave my stuff in Arizona, giving myself access to the entire map. I can leave myself stuff in Wisconsin, having access to the entire map. And it's going to be hard for you to kind of guess where I'm hiding my army. You can do it and get lucky, but I've given myself multiple hiding spots. And that's why selecting stuff in the center is always very, very challenging. The last thing to keep in mind before poorly played Risk and I go into selecting our final, or placing our armies and attacking each other, is how many territories you want to take over. So the rule I like to keep in mind is the rule of 3, which is if you have taken over a bunch of territories and you have a multiple of 3, like an 18, a 21, a 24, you want to try to take over at least one more territory, as that will make your opponent get one less troop the following turn. In perfect equilibrium and balance, you want to end your turn on 22 territories at a minimum. So I'm going to hide my army, and Poorly Played Risk now has to guess where it is. And if she guesses wrong, it will be fireworks. But as you can see, this map is very, very balanced. So you did an 18. So you did guess me correctly. So that was a good job right there. Yep, so you want to place everything there and hit me right away. You did leave the 4 off to the side, which is a little bit risky, because if you fail this roll, yep, and you blitzed me right away, which is good, because that will allow you to get an advantage over me. Good, and then you hit me there, and then you move your troops out. Excellent. So this is a good first move, but since you did blitz me, you got a good roll, but not an amazing one, so it's still relatively balanced right now. So I'm going to make sure to continue playing this out, because there is a luck element to this game. Sometimes you can blitz, but not get the most favorable roll possible. But if you can blitz, you should blitz. So I'm just going to use the balance the slider, because that minimizes my chances of losing troops. Fortunately, did not get a good roll, which is going to be a little tough for me. But I'll continue playing this out, because again, this is just a good practice session right here. And now you can see I'm at 19 territories in total. If I were to attack 2 more, I would be at 21. And Poorly Played Risk would be at 18. Since she would always get 6 no matter what, it's better for me to hold my troops right here and hope for her to get a bad roll on me instead of attacking 2 more times. But she does have the advantage
math on
right
that
there.
again, Olive? You look at your troops, and if you have a multiple of 3, that means they do too? Is that what it is?
Because there's 39 territories on the board. Right now you're at 20, because I'm at 19. 39 minus 19 is 20. If I were to attack 2 more times, I would have 21 territories, and you would have 18. 39 plus 21 is 18. You'll get 6 troops regardless. So therefore, it's better for me to preserve my troops rather than attacking again. Yep, so now you're splitting. In general, I like to just attack 1 territory at once, because you want to try to build up your advantage a little bit. Because right now, I'm at 16 territories. I'll be getting 5 troops this turn. And that could allow me to potentially reduce your count.
Is it worth it to spend these 2s out, or no?
You would have to win 2 out of the 3. I mean, you can do up to 4 of them, and you would have to win 2 of them to reduce me. And each roll takes 42%.
Yeah, I never feel good about that, so I'm gonna not do
that's a fine decision to make. Yep. So I'm very, very far behind at this point, because I'm only getting 5 at this time. And Poorly Played Risk is kind of just like preserving her troops. So for purposes of this tutorial, I'll just continue attacking right here. Just taking 1s, trying everything I can to reduce my count. Here, 3v1 is worth it, because again, I want to get her count down below. Okay, that's just funny. In this case, I did fail both of them, but it was worth it to have her potentially lose 1 troop. Oh, you also got the southwest, and I couldn't even break that. But I was just getting bad luck right there. I was attacking the minimum amount of times possible. So that's going to be the game right here at this time, because she got like the continent, and I wasn't really able to break anything else with that bad luck. But that was a good game, Poorly Played Risk. You'll be able to wrap this up and take out the rest of my territories. Good job for you.
I can't believe it. I'm actually shocked.
No, in 1v1s, there's a lot of, always a little bit of luck that's involved, but also a fair amount of skill. And as long as you know which territories to select, how to execute your strategy, and how you want to move around the board, you can win more often than not. The best players on the ladder on the current system are 1v1 players, for better or for worse. And with that, I hope you all enjoyed this a tutorial on the 1v1 map United States. We'll be doing a new video on this every Thursday, going over multiple 1v1 maps to teach you, the audience, about this. I hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you like this content. And with that, OliveXC and Poorly Played Risk are signing out.